Welcome to episode 265 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Was that to me? Was the first one to me or was it to the listeners?
They were both to everyone.
Because I picked the first one.
I am inclusive. That's what I do.
We are equal opportunity here.
EEOC.
At the Gamestitch. HQ.
HQ. Yes.
If we had one, I think it wouldn't be a main office. It'd be an HQ.
Yeah, or I would just call it a fort. It would be like
a fort. Yeah, fort's not bad either.
The Gamestitch Fort.
Because if you drove by that, you'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Right, and it's an office building.
People don't have forts anymore.
It's our version of an office building,
right?
Which is plywood and paint.
Plus, if we were there at night, it'd be a Fortnite.
Right. Well, no, it'd probably be a fort at night.
Nah, we just leave that out because it's not as catchy. Fort at night.
Well, to be fair, a fortnight is 2 weeks.
Right. Which it also would qualify for because that's how long it would last.
Yes. Especially, it probably wouldn't respond well to the elements.
I don't know. Plywood's durable.
Well, it still would.
So it depends where you put it.
Up here, it'd be fucked. I got 20 inches of snow on the ground, so
right.
Yeah, that's lasting a fortnight. That fort is lasting a fortnight.
But in California, away from wildfires, it could last years.
Away from wildfires, yeah.
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 Because they get no rain.
Which is why they have wildfires.
Yeah, climate's nice.
So if you're going to have the no rain thing, you're probably going to have to contend with the wildfires.
You could get down by the bay.
Oh, right in the middle of the city. Yeah. That's called Shantytown, my friend.
Yeah, that's fine. They're accepting there. You want a group of people that brings you in.
Okay.
You don't want to be like, oh, yeah, that asshole built a shack right here in our nice neighborhood.
Actually, I think every nice neighborhood needs a shack.
And that's when you shoot a middle finger up and tell them it's a fort, not a shack.
That's right. It's a fort, goddammit.
Right. Eat a dick, it's a fort. I don't know if I could build a fort with the current skills that I have.
I could.
I'd have to YouTube it.
I could build a fort. Yeah, well, I guess it depends on what you need out of the fort. I mean,
functional.
If we're just talking about a fort, yes. If you want me to build a Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, it's probably not happening.
It'd have to be a treehouse, but I want it framed up with a little insulation, a working door, maybe some plumbing.
If it's in California, what do you need insulation for? It never gets below like 65 degrees.
Because I got to run some AC in there.
Just hook up a Mitsubishi with an extension cord to the shanty next door. It'll be fine.
A window unit. So we need windows.
Steal that power.
Need a window. Front door, maybe doorbell, something nice.
Well, a circular saw and make a window, no problem.
As long as they'll hang a window air conditioning unit out, we're good.
See, now you're talking Little House on the Prairie shit. And
I mean, if we're roughing it, it should be nice.
That's a little... No, the point of roughing it is it's not nice.
That's not how I rough it.
The point of roughing it is you're sleeping in a tent.
That's how you rough it.
Exposing yourself to the elements. That's roughing it.
If I'm exposing myself, it's not to the elements.
Well, you should never expose yourself. It's illegal, but...
That's not true either.
It is.
Around family and friends is fine.
That's probably debatable as well.
Well, shit, I just learned a lot.
You did. You learned
I learned that we can't build a fort because we can't agree upon what it should be. And then exposing yourself, even to loved ones, could be...
No, we can... Go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say, it could be considered illegal.
It could be considered illegal. No, we can build a fort. However, if we're going to do it your way, we're going to need to pay out a lot of money to have someone build the fort.
I think you're talking about just building a house now.
If we're going to do it my way, then we'll be just fine.
You're just like a clubhouse in it, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking a clubhouse. It's got put up a curtain rod. That's
Did
your
you have
door.
a clubhouse when you were a kid?
I had a tree fort.
Oh man, I wanted one so bad, and I never could convince my parents.
I had a tree fort. Funny story. I actually almost killed my sister with booby traps for it.
On purpose?
Well, the traps were designed to keep people away.
To kill?
No, but my head didn't. I watched too many cartoons when I was a kid. Okay, here's what happened. So I had one of those trip wires that had a tire hanging. So when you tripped the wire, the tire fell down. Mm-hmm. Well, according to all the cartoons I had ever seen, what would happen is it would like shoop around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it catches you.
Right, to be like in the tire and you get stuck on your arms and you'd be flailing around with this tire around you.
That's how it works.
It turns out the gravity doesn't work quite like the cartoons, show. And what it did is my sister was probably 5, maybe 6, which would have made me 8 or 9. And it turns out what happens is when you hit the trip. Now, to be fair, before I go any further, the trap worked exactly as designed. And my entire family had been informed that I had put traps around my tree fort.
So she didn't believe that you had the skill set, or she thought she was smart enough to avoid the traps.
Didn't believe me. Whatever.
Right.
It could have been any combination of the 3. Who knows? Could have been all of them. But anyway, trip to trip wire. Tire goes down. I happen to be watching. I was like, cool. One of my traps is going to work. It's going to be awesome. And well, it didn't shoot around her. Instead, it just like barreled straight down and like bounced off the top of her head.
Right, as real tires do.
And
for real humans.
So like almost probably, she's probably really lucky it didn't break her neck, to be honest.
It probably concussed her though,
or do spine damage of some sort.
Right.
In retrospect and understanding science more.
So basically, what happened is you just dropped a tire on your sister's head.
No. I did not.
That's basically what happened.
I set up a trap to do so, and she walked into the trap. After she was warned there was a trap. However, apparently you're on the side of my parents because even though they too had been informed that there was a trap and they shouldn't go out there.
Well, because I think
this was my fault.
Right, I think what they're doing is what I did. They just boiled it down to it. It's the simplest explanation as to what happened to her. That you dropped a tire on her head.
Oh, yeah, that's not what happened. They had been informed prior that was not the issue. Like
how
before
high
any
up
of
was
this,
the tire?
10 feet.
Yeah, that's far enough that you don't want it on your head.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not so high up though that there was intent to kill.
There was never intent to kill. It was supposed to shoot around you. It was supposed to turn in midair and go around you like it does in the cartoons.
It doesn't ever work that way.
No, it turns out that's not a thing. I understand that now because I've matured and taken more science courses.
At 5, even if it had, it would have fallen all the way around her and she would have stepped out of it.
But the point was that it's supposed to scare you, and it's just a cool thing that's going to happen because it happens in the cartoons and it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I never set up booby traps, but I did want a fort really bad. I wanted a clubhouse. Like, I tried and tried. I was like, if you just give me the wood, I can build it, which is false. I can't. And I was also like 6. But I tried and tried to get my dad to build me one. And then I tried to get a tree house, and that never worked out either. Never had a fort. I'm like a couch cushions and a sheet kind of guy.
Bed sheet kind of guy? I built those two. That's a kid thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so. As an adult, if you did that, though, you're a fucking lunatic.
I don't think that's true.
Like, if I came over and you're like, check out my fort, and you were dead serious, and it was like couch cushions and a sheet, I'd be like, you all right?
No, I don't think you would.
Like, treating you right? I mean, I'd probably check it out first.
I think you, if it was you, most people, yes, you would be like, yes.
I'd probably check it out first, and then we talk, right?
We talk about improvements that could be made.
Because I can appreciate anyone just doing something different. Just doing their own thing. I get behind that. I like when people do their own thing. It doesn't keep you from being a psychopath, but I like it. And while we're giving shout-outs to psychopaths, I went to Taco Bell. Okay. If there's anyone that works at Taco Bell, please listen to my message. It was just a standard order. Or I'm getting a cravings deal, for $5. which is a fantastic box if you haven't checked it out.
It's the one with this month that comes with cinnamon twist.
Yeah.
It's got
cinnamon twist, like a burrito,
and a
hard
chalupa.
shell, or a chalupa. Yeah,
a chalupa,
it's 4 things,
a hard shell, like
a burrito. It's like a 5-layer, not a 7-layer, because I don't like guac.
Yep.
And then it's got the cinnamon twist and a drink.
And
$5.
$5.
So, anyways, I get that, and she said, "Any sauce?" And I'm like, "Yeah, some fire is what I'll have." And she's like, "Okay." Shuts the window, goes in there, and whatever. Talks about whatever tweens talk about with their tween co-workers, and she comes back to the window. She's like, "Any sauce?" Which is pissing me off a little bit because I just told you 45 seconds ago. And I'm like, "Yes, it's fire. I'll have some still." So she hands me my box. If you get the box, you just get the fucking box.
Just get the box. It pisses me off every time.
Not in a bag, right? So she hands me a box.
Do not like that. That pisses me off.
And then she hands me the box out the window, and I said, "Is there sauce in there?" Because I know Taco Bell too well to think she put sauce in there.
Well,
after
she had
having
to
ask me twice, right? She goes, "Oh, I forgot the sauce." So she just gives me the box. She doesn't take it back. Then she hands me the sauce out the window like a crackhead. Like handfuls of sauce, and I don't know how to take them from her. Because she's got them like palm up, and I'm not going to get them like packet by packet. And then, so she can tell that I can't understand how to grab these out of her hand, and she tries to turn and like rain them, like baby bird them onto my hands. I'm like mama bird to baby bird onto my hands. They're falling like all down beside the car. And she had like 40 packets, which I do appreciate the volume she was trying to give me for the 5 items I had.
Probably unnecessary.
We'll never have fucking sauce on cinnamon twist. So really, we're talking 3 items. I'm not putting them in my Coke either. So 3 items I could use them on. She got 40 packets. They're raining down on the ground. They're like bouncing off the car.
Actually, if you think about it, it's probably only 2 items because you're really going to open up that gooey ass burrito to try to get sauce in there?
No, I place it on the top.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I'll put sauce on each bite.
Okay. No, that doesn't.
But at no point during this whole thing did she seem like this wasn't like a natural way to do this. Like all you had to do was put it in the fucking box.
There was a right way. This is the wrong way.
So I ended up I caught like 20 of them. The rest of them all bounced on the fucking ground and got ran over for the rest of the day, I'm sure.
Well, here's the thing. You're calling her a psychopath, but here's the thing. I feel like she planned ahead because she knew there was no way you were going to catch all of the packets. So she planned ahead so you would still have ample amount.
She's a psychopath because she thought, I'll just hand somebody 40 fucking packets.
No, she knew you were only going to end up with 20.
They have those little like brown bags.
I know.
That you drop a 40 in. She could have just put them in there and handed me that.
You're right. She could have. But she
and she put them like she
thought outside the box.
Yeah, you can't see this, but Dan can. Like she held them out like this, like as it was a gift. Like here, just take all you'd like. And that's not going to work for me because I want some.
Why didn't you just grab like you only need 3 max.
Well, I was grabbing a few and she just kept her hand out there like, go ahead, get them the rest.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that. At that point I'm done. I've done my part.
So then I'm like, like I put my hand back up there and she's trying to rotate it and then she starts dumping them everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? So she is a psychopath.
We're going to have to agree to disagree. I don't think she's a psychopath.
I don't think she's making it a career. I'll tell you that much. Based off her performance.
Okay. Well, that could be fair.
There used to be a guy that worked at this Taco Bell that was a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
And I miss that guy. He was so good. I knew he would never last. He was too good.
That
you
happens.
See somebody like that at a place,
Yep.
You're like, God, they're too good. They won't be here long enough.
Yep.
Flying too close to the sun, like they won't be able to stay.
They're going to fall.
Yeah. In case you've never listened, this is the Taco Bell podcast.
We talk sauce. Podcast, apparently.
Forts, structures, playhouses.
Structures, yeah. We do like structures.
That'd be a good podcast.
Ryan prefers them with frames, obviously.
Yeah, this is structure talk.
I would have nothing. I wouldn't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never built a structure.
I don't know enough about structures to be able to talk about structure talk.
This is the official Gamestitch Podcast. It's a podcast about video games, nerd culture, and anything we want to talk about because we don't have any bosses or rules.
Right, because we're the host. We can do what we want.
Right.
We're grown-ups.
Yeah. When you're a kid, I can't wait to be grown up so I can do whatever I want to do. It was this.
Yep.
And so it could be Taco Bell, it could be Structures, it could be Forts, it could be video games the entire time, but probably not. But it posts every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world, which is when you should be listening if you want it timely.
Yes.
But because you're an adult too, you can listen whenever the hell you want. It's out there.
Now something you just said
Mm-hmm.
kind of sparked a question in me. You just said when you're a child, you want to be a grown-up so you can do this. Well, I found that when I'm a grown-up, a lot of times I wish I was a child again, so I could like take naps or not work and not pay bills.
I'll tell you the thing that gets me is when I see a kid not getting his way and just throwing a fucking full-on fit.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do that once as an adult. Like, in the floor, turning circles, screaming, to the point that the person you're with is like, fuck it, if you'll stop,
I'll get you this.
I'll do whatever it is that you're after, because you can't do this in public.
Right.
Which is what happens with parents, which is why kids are all fucking spoiled. I would like to say back in my day, my parents would jerk me up and beat the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not true. My parents probably would have got me whatever. I just didn't act a fool.
Yeah, I wasn't an asshole. But anyway, back to my question.
Okay.
My question is there a time in your life that is that perfect time where you're like, this is where I want to be forever. I don't want to be a kid again for this. I don't want to be an adult for this. Is there that perfect time?
18 to 21.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Because you're still carefree. You're reckless.
And you haven't figured things out yet. You're still trying to figure them out?
You're probably still at home. You don't have any bills. You're fucking out of control. You're doing whatever you want because you're now grown and you like to throw that line around. You're like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. I'm an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then that runs out.
Eventually, yes.
And maybe your parents want rent. Maybe you move out. Then you got responsibility. Now you got somebody riding your ass at work all the time. Your fucking power's cut off because you don't have any money. You're trying to decide. You're fucking hawking your shit. Then it starts going downhill. And then you rebound. Like a year later. You start figuring it out. The fun goes away, but you figure out how to be an adult.
Yeah.
But I think that 18, maybe, that might even be a stretch. It may be like 18 to 20.
Yeah,
18 especially, though.
I would say it's probably specific to the situation. Because some parents are like, you're 18, you're now going to pay me $500 rent, or you're going to get the fuck out.
Or get the fuck out, right? Those are my favorite parents. Like, you have a birthday, and you're like, I'm still in high school. Like, get the fuck out. And you're like, I don't think legally you can do that. And they're like, I can. Get the fuck out.
And then there are some people who, like, live with their parents, like, till their parents die and they inherit the house.
Shout out to a couple of my friends doing that right now.
I might know some folks like that myself. So yeah, I think it's specific to the situation. I mean, also at 18, some people join the military.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they like jump right into forced adulthood, which is what I did. Which is why I was kind of an asshole when I got out for a couple of years, because I still needed that 18 to 20.
Because you didn't get that time. That's an important time in someone's life.
It's very formative, I do believe. It's that figuring out stage is incredibly important.
But I will say that is better placed up front than later in life.
Than 23, 24. Yeah. I can attest to that because.
So after I graduated, I didn't immediately start school, and I wasn't working. And I was like, this is what it's all, like, everything led to this moment right here.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. I was eating like my third bowl of Cocoa Pebbles, playing PS2, PS3, whatever it was. PS2 probably. And I was like, what a fucking world this is. This is tremendous. Still getting dinner cooked for me, someone else doing my laundry. And this goes on for a little while, a couple months, and then like they had like an intervention for me.
Oh, they said
which is a nice way of them being like, "Hey, you need to figure something out."
And said like, "Hey, you
get a job, go to school,
you got
buy your own cereal, stop doing this.
Got a life, you kind of got to start getting together now, bud."
So it might not even have been like it might not have been 18 to 21, but it might have just been like 18 to like 18
19 and a half.
Right. But those 3 glorious months. I mean, I would wake up at like 1:30 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. I would stay up all night.
I guess, to be honest, I did get that. I just didn't get as long as a lot of people because I graduated in June and I left for the military in October. But the problem I was supposed to go to college. I had everything set up, but some things happened and I found out like 2 weeks before that I couldn't. So I was like, I don't know what am I going to do. I'm not going to wait a year. I'm not waiting 6 months. Fuck it. So I just joined the military.
Right.
So I probably had that like a good month and a half of what you're talking about. I was getting ready to go away again for a long time. So my parents were,
a little more accepting.
Willing to do pretty much, you're eating Cocoa Pebbles at 4:00. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be here in a month. I probably won't see you ever again.
Right. So can I just finish this bowl? That'd be all right with you guys?
But then once I got out of the military, because you immediately go from that to, okay, now you're grown up with responsibilities, and if
0 to 100, right.
If you don't, people die and communists and Nazis take over, and so you're like, well, it's a lot of responsibility to put on an 18-year-old. But okay.
Yeah. You guys point me to the Cocoa Pebbles, please?
Yeah, it seems like a lot since I was eating, 2 days ago I was eating cereal at 4:30 in the morning, or at 4:30 in the afternoon.
When I woke up.
Yeah, for breakfast, for literally breakfast.
Right. Followed by bowl number 2, which was lunch.
But sure, we can do that. So then you get out and you're like, you had all that structure and all that rigidity, and so you just make a series of dumb decisions that probably are better made at the age of 18, 19 than they are at 23, 24.
Yeah, because for some reason people give you a pass like, oh, he's just a kid.
Mm-hmm. But they don't when you're 23 though. That's bullshit.
No, they're like, get your shit together.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The conversations change drastically, even though the actions are the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the smartest choice I ever made. I didn't go straight to college, which that's not. I'm not going to pass judgment either way on anyone. I think you got to do what's right for you. But I didn't go right away. But the best decision I ever made was going straight to a factory job. Mm-hmm. Because I learned that I did not want to do this forever. Like, if nothing else, that factory job made me work harder at every other job I've ever had. Because I've never forgot where I came from and where I would rather not go back to. And it was a fun job that paid me a lot of money. But every day that I was there, I would just look around at everybody else who had been there for years and years. And I'm like, I don't want to
be that.
And no offense to anyone who's doing that. I think those jobs are fine. Like I said, I made a lot of money doing it. I've made much less at other jobs.
Some people thrive in those positions. But they really do. Like, some people, that's exactly for them, and that's great. That's
in my department. I was in the press department, big 600-ton press, stamping out panels for stoves. As most people know them, ranges if you work there because you have to be an asshole, right?
Yeah.
So we're stamping out those all day long. You make the same fucking part, and you're just, So I ended up getting put. I was the youngest guy in that department. I got put with the oldest guy in that department, and he hated the world, hated everybody. Was a smart ass. I love that guy, Gary, and Gary's old ass talked back to everybody and would interrupt meetings to say something smart. He was that guy. They wish he'd fucking die or retire.
Uh-huh. But they can't get rid of him because he's so good and he's been there for so long.
Right. And I would even carpool with Gary. Like, we would ride together. So I got an extra hour of him talking about how shitty the world was. But all I could think is, I don't want to be Gary. Like, as much as I like that guy and I'm glad I met him and worked with him, I don't want to be Gary. And I was fast-tracking to becoming Gary if I stayed there.
Right. I understand.
So I worked there for 4.5 years, and I learned a lot about how much harder I need to work if I don't want to do that. But I also, there was a brief time there where the guy that put the light bulb in the range.
Yeah.
So one would roll in front of you, and you would take a light bulb out of the box, and you would screw it in, then you'd wait for the next one to roll in front of you.
Makes sense.
And I, was talking about potentially smashing one of those light bulbs and jamming it in my throat. because I couldn't continue to do that every day, all day, because it felt like I was working 26-hour days.
Uh-huh.
And the people beside me were like, I would fucking kill for that job. Like, I would put the light bulb in your throat if I thought I got that job. Like, people would like request that job you got. And that's, I just learned, like, this isn't for me, but I understand, like, for some people,
How
this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what makes the world go round, is the different thing. I mean, the different things that people will do, want to do, enjoy. That's how.
There's nothing I love more, though, when I find somebody who does a job, even especially when I think it's a job I wouldn't want, and they love it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love to see somebody in a job they love. In my last job, I sold to a lot of industrial sites, and I met a guy that drove the truck that sucks all the shit out of porta potties.
Yeah.
And you would think that guy was president of the United States, the way he loved, like was proud of where he at, loved his job, loved that he worked to get there. And I was like, you know what, this guy's what it's about.
Yeah.
Because that's a job that, if I had a list to pick from, it's probably somewhere near the bottom.
Yeah.
I also watched him climb off his truck, come down, open his lunchbox, and pull a sandwich out and just eat it with no kind of hand washing, no baby wipes, no nothing. I'm like, that's a guy who knows where he's at in life. He put his hands right on that white bread and just shoveled it right in there.
There's nothing wrong with that. There are no shitty jobs. There are shitty people.
All right. I love to see, though, like, you're right. If everybody, when you're a kid, like, what do you want to be? We'd have 20 million firefighters and nobody cleaning shit up.
Yep. Nobody taking care of all that other stuff.
Yeah. So, you never think about doing those jobs. Like, obviously, the job I'm in now, when I was a kid, it's not what I would have told you I want to do. I really enjoy it, though. So, that's what it's about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And the most important, if any of you young children out there who probably shouldn't be listening, because this is
earmuff it, vulgar, except for this part, right?
But my advice to you is, I just forgot what my advice was. Shit, I had advice for you.
So while you're thinking about it, I have a point I can make.
No, I don't.
So, I interviewed a guy. We're going to say a while back, and or hypothetically, however you want it to be.
Hypothetically, a while back.
Yeah, this didn't happen. Wink, wink. And the guy, I was telling him what the job was, and he's like, that's what I would love, but my wife would like me to go in a different direction, something where a little more guaranteed. Where I knew how much money I was going to make. It's a commission, style job. And I was commenting on how, you do have to gamble, but it should be the safest bet you ever make because you're betting on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a line I use a lot because it is what it is. And also,
it's good. Well, the thing is that comes off with like some false wisdom.
It pushes you a little bit because you're like, yeah, you know what? I can fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Which is the point. But anyways, he said, well, I'll just have to go home and talk to her because I just had an interview for a job that's going to pay me $14 an hour guaranteed. And he called me back and he was like, yeah, I could go do a job for $14 an hour guaranteed and be miserable. Or I could do something that I can enjoy and that I will enjoy and I can bet on myself and I can make way more than that. And I'm like, there we go. That's what it's about. Like, sometimes you just have to, like, fuck the money. Like, fuck whatever I'm doing. Like, I just need to be happy.
Yep, that's true.
I need to not be miserable.
That kind of ties in a little bit to my advice.
Did you remember the advice?
I remembered it, yes. My advice to everybody, to all you young ones coming up, and even some of you older ones that maybe don't understand this yet about the working world, but it doesn't matter what job you do, there is always going to be bullshit you have to put up with. What you have to decide is which bullshit you're willing to tolerate. Because it's always going to be there.
Yeah, some jobs have more than others, but there's always bullshit.
And some jobs have different bullshit.
And remember, when you interview for a job, the guy on the other side of the table is trying to sell you on it.
Exactly.
Or the lady. Do your research. Because every job you interview for sounds pretty good. Because they need to put an ass in a seat.
Exactly. When they're hiring for somebody, it's because They need a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. This is
Job talk.
Welcome to Job Talk. That sounds like the worst podcast we've ever had. I'd rather listen to Structure Weekly than Job Talk.
I don't know that I would probably have either of them on my list, to be honest. But
I can 100% say that we're not licensed to give out any sort of advice.
You don't have to be licensed to be a life coach.
Well,
Anybody can be a life coach.
I'm going to rebound here.
Oh, okay.
But what I will say is that we give you real life right between the eyes. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
If someone gives you advice and you're like, well, you know, that's shitty, those people were just told you the truth.
Yeah.
If you want something else, then just ask them to repeat the thing that you're about to tell them.
Yeah, the thing is, if it seems like the worst advice you ever got, it probably has some bearing in the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it's not what you wanted to hear, it's probably exactly what you needed to hear.
That's true. People hate the truth. People don't like the truth.
They don't.
Except for truthers, they love the truth.
Y'all,
but they can't find it.
People swear up and down that they just want you to be honest with them until you are.
Right. Tell me the truth. Okay,
just
here it is.
tell me the truth. Here it is. Well, shit.
Fuck off, right.
Why didn't you lie to me?
Why did you have to be an asshole? I didn't say be mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunch of wimps. People are growing up to be wimps. If you're a wimp, shut this podcast off.
No, don't.
It's a wimp-free zone.
Keep listening.
You listen to Dan's part, you shut my audio off. We don't know wimps on my side.
Right. No, and just remember, it should be the safest bet you ever made because you're betting on yourself.
You like that, don't you?
I do like that.
It's empowering, and it's also super shitty to say to somebody.
It is, yeah. It's some manipulative bullshit is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... See, if you... Like, me, if you said that to me, I'd be like, well, I know myself, I'm out.
I had somebody tell me that one time.
Really? Good.
Yeah, I had somebody say, like, it should be the safest bet, but with me, it's not.
And what did you say to that?
Fair enough. Shook hands, and he went on his way. Because I can appreciate that honesty. But I mean, I don't care where you're at. Like any job, you can use that line. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Like you're not betting on the company or me or their product. You're betting on you.
Uh-huh.
So there should be no risk at all.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can make that decision though. Just let me know. Call me tomorrow.
That's some Tony Robbins shit right there.
Yeah, I gotta have a backup plan in case this doesn't work out. Not the podcast; it doesn't pay us, but the other thing, in case it doesn't work out. You know,
Kind of come up with those shitty chintzy lines. Man, if you said that to me in an interview, it would just piss me off.
Then you're not the guy for the job.
I'm not the guy. I wouldn't be there for the interview to start with.
You're not the guy for a job.
But if I went to any job interview and someone said that to me, I'd be like, don't pull that bullshit.
It's
no,
empowering.
I come in here to do a job, and you pay me to do the job. That's how this works.
Right. We're going to pay you a lot of money to do that job, too. But you got to earn it.
I don't necessarily need a lot of money. I need money to do work.
I need money-driven people, you know.
You need what?
I need money-driven people. I want money-driven people working.
Oh, yeah, because that's how you make your money. I understand that.
Well, I mean, that's how they make their money, too. It's about them. It's never about me.
Uh-huh.
I'm just here to support people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. I like those, you hear those commercials on the radio where they're like, someone's coming to your area for one day only. They're going to reveal all their secrets.
Yeah, they reveal all their secrets and they hypnotize you to quit smoking or lose weight or whatever.
Not those. The ones where they're like,
the entrepreneur ones?
Yeah, those are my favorite. Because I'm like, they're just selling you their program. Like, you know that, right? Like it's like some shitty books that they had someone else write, and like a couple of.
Do you want to make $2.5 million in 3 days?
Yeah, learn all the secrets on how he built his empire flipping homes.
That's right.
They keep playing the one here. It's like star from the hit show on A&E, and I've never even heard of that show. I'm not even sure that's a show. It's some house flipping thing, but it's on A&E apparently. And
yeah. House flipping thing was a thing for a while. I don't know that it is quite so much anymore.
But
that's
keep
the thing
playing
about
the commercial on the radio here.
All those reality shows ruin all the good entrepreneurial ideas because they put them out there, everybody does them, and what happens? Glut in the market.
Yeah, like Storage Wars, which I love. I heard that like that totally changed like auctions as far as it goes at like self-storage places.
Yeah.
So.
Because everybody now was going to them.
Yeah, because they're like, I'm going to go find a diamond ring and a car and suitcases full of money. Because they do on the show that's clearly fucking staged. But I love that show.
I know you do.
Anyways, if you want to support this podcast, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch, and you can do so over there. You'll see that most things over there are themed around video games, as this podcast is supposed to sometimes maybe be.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, pump the fucking brakes. We're about to talk about them. Maybe we should put in the show notes, we should put the part where video games start in case there's any assholes that don't like the other stuff.
Yeah, an hour in.
Yeah. So it's, well, we had some chatter before, so like 40 minutes.
True, yeah.
Give or take. And I'll start by talking about what I played this week, which is only a tiny baby amount of Rocket League and Paladin, so nothing new to update there.
Yeah, I haven't played much either. I played some Paladins, a little bit of Rocket League. I feel like there was something else.
Did you play something on Xbox? Also, you streamed something.
I did stream. That's right. I forgot about the streaming. Can't remember what I streamed now.
I don't remember what you streamed either.
It wasn't amazing. It was okay.
It was a demo?
Oh, it was Near Automata.
Near.
Game I did that way back on like Monday. No wonder I don't remember.
It was Near. Yeah.
I streamed the demo of Near Automata. It's a game I'd been interested in.
Right.
It's not. Don't do that. Oh, shit. Here come the tweets. Here they come.
Bring them on. I won't check Twitter.
You know who the first one's coming from, right?
Yeah. Send them at Podcast Ryan. I don't check a single fucking tweet. Shoot them over. Slide up in my DMs with some dick pics, too. I don't check that either.
It was interesting. It was not what I thought it was. It was actually better than what I thought it was going to be. But it's still very, very Japanese, and it just doesn't always do it for me. This is probably one of the better ones that I've tried, and I want to continue playing it. I can't spend full price on the game. I know I can't.
Put a price on it. What is it? 19, 14?
Probably no more than 20.
$19.99.
No more than 20. Yeah, $19.99.
I think that's a reasonable price to find it for. I think you can find it for that price coming up.
It's just very much the typical Japanese, Onchibara hack and slash type thing that they do. Combos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very Devil May Cry, stuff like that, as far as...
The kids know that as DMC.
As far as the basic concepts. No, DMC is something different.
That's what the kids know it as, though. They don't know the old school.
Yeah, well.
The fucking tweens working at Taco Bell handing me too many sauce packets know it as DMC.
I did stream that. And I picked up a Super Nintendo Mini this week.
Yeah, classic SNES.
And I plugged that in and turned it on. And I think I just turned it on last night just for a little bit because I was tired as fuck. Mm-hmm. But I think I played the first level of Donkey Kong Country, and then I played through some of the different menus and stuff. So
I need to spend some more time with mine too. I think for me, the struggle that I have is like I own all those games.
Mm-hmm.
So it was neat to get one that's so tiny and to hold it because it's fucking small. If you've never held one, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's the size of like a piece of home baked bread, a slice.
Yeah, like one slice of home baked sourdough. Like it's small. Maybe that's even bigger. Maybe you could cover this up with a piece of sourdough.
No, I don't think. I'm looking at it right now. I don't think so.
Depends on your bread. It's small though.
Yeah, it's tiny.
So, I liked it for that. I like the HDMI. I like that it's easy. The controllers are still too short, even though they're longer than NES. Mm-hmm. But I played... So, the real reason I wanted it was for Star Fox 2.
Yes, but you have to play through the first level of Star Fox
1. Which
I
did and unlocked it. And then I played a little Star Fox 2, and I was like, I'm glad this didn't come out. It kind of sucks. which is where I left that in the last time I played my SNES Classic. But I do want to get the NES Classic because they're going to look really good on like next to each other.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So when those come back out, I think I'm going to try to get one of those too.
I may try to get one too. Now I did this. I played through the menus real quick, and I'm not sure, but it looks like you can actually change it to the HD mode. Is that correct?
I don't know. I didn't do enough in there to see.
Yeah, it looks like you can change them.
Do you have to turn that bitch? You have to reset that thing to switch games?
Yep.
Yeah, I was hoping I was just too dumb to figure out a better way to do that, but I'm not a fan of getting up.
No, you have to reset it to go back to the main menu. That's when you can save your progress.
Right. That's pissing me off.
Yeah. Unless
Maybe we're both too dumb.
Maybe there's a combination of buttons you have to hit, but it's not any single button or holding any single button that does it.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, that's about all I played.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the stream and demo things is something I might try to do more often.
Yeah.
Because I think it's...
Well, it does a couple things. It shows off some games with you playing them, but also it gives you an idea of games you might want to buy. Exactly. Right, so it works on a couple different levels.
And it may give some other people a chance to see something that, well, I was kind of interested in it. Let me see.
I would love to have played some more this week. I didn't have a chance. Real fucking life. Definitely full swing right now. And next week might be... I may have a lot of single-player updates going on as I change some stuff with internet. But I gotta get back into some games.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if I go 4 or 5 days without games, I turn into a real asshole.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because that's my outlet. That's how I get rid of my stress.
Understand completely.
So.
Now you'll get it together.
Yeah, I mean, eventually. People have been saying that to me for years.
Yeah, I mean, the gaming aspect for this.
Just kidding.
I don't mean your life.
Although if you're 40 years old and still living home, get it together. Unless you take care of your parents, and then you're a good person, you know.
If you're how old and living?
40.
40?
It's fucking time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if your parents are going to let you, why not?
Do you? Well, let's go back to this. Fuck video games.
Oh no.
Is there a window where you've stayed so long
that it's just stupid to leave?
It'd be silly to leave.
That it's weirder to leave?
Yeah, like now it is. It does make more sense to wait for them to die to get their house. Like, so you should be out by probably, I'm going to be generous and say you should be out by 21.
Okay.
But if you're not, it's acceptable for you to leave all the way up to what, 25?
It's acceptable for you to leave?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it's acceptable for you to leave at any point. I think it becomes unacceptable to leave once you hit 50.
So if you've not left by 50... See, I think that's too old. That's too old. I think 40. If you haven't left by 40, wait it out.
No, what I'm saying is once you're all considered senior citizens, you might as well just stay there.
Yeah, but I'm saying at 40, just fucking ride it out.
Well, but in today's world, though, there's a lot that can happen between 40 and 50.
Like,
you can still meet someone or something like that.
I'm putting your parents at 60 if you're 40.
Well,
I'm thinking they weren't banging in high school, so I'm putting them at 60.
Probably
just wait it
average.
Out. Just wait it out.
I don't know about 40 because, like I said, there's still a lot that can happen in 40. Once you hit 50, you've pretty much done what you're doing in life. Well, all the different things that are happening to you have pretty much happened.
The other option is that you meet someone and you go straight from your parents' house straight into their house. You never do the alone thing.
That could be.
Yeah.
Now see, there's caveats to that because say you left and something happened and you had to come back at like 33.
I'm anti-comeback unless you're taking care of your parents.
Well, sometimes you're just in that situation.
I can't feel bad for that. I'm anti-comeback. But here's where I make up for it. I think this makes me less of a dick. Don't move out till you're ready, but once you're ready, no takesies backsies.
Well, the thing is like say you're
donate some plasma.
Like I had to do that,
right?
Because
a lot of people do. Not for me.
After I got divorced, I moved back across the country home where my circle of family was someone who could support me. Mm-hmm. But I had nothing. I had to stay somewhere, so that's where I stayed. Now, to be fair,
Did you stay there or did you move back in? Like, what's the time frame?
I was about 6 months.
No, you just stayed there. You didn't move back in.
Okay.
You were just getting your shit right.
I just got all my shit back together. I had to find a job. I had to get a car. I had to then save up enough money to get my own place.
Like, I know people that moved out, came back home, and they still live there.
Oh, yeah, no, that's...
I'm not talking about hard times. We're talking about people who just made the choice to go back home because real life was hard.
Yeah, no, it's not for me.
But I'm also a believer. See, I didn't move out of my house. I didn't move out of my parents' house until I was like 26, 25. Like, I had a damn good job still living at home. Like, laundry getting done, dinner cooked for me. If people were like, why don't you move out? I'm like, why don't you shut your mouth? Okay, everything's good. But you stop saying it so loud, because if they hear and realize I'm still here, they might ask me to leave or pay rent or anything. I wasn't paying anything.
Yeah.
I was a manager of GameStop, and I still lived at home. I was like a walking, talking stereotype.
Yep.
It was great.
I remember that.
Except for we didn't have a basement.
I just had a room.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing sweeter than bringing like a grown-ass woman home to your parents' house when you're grown.
Yeah, it's not odd, right?
And they're like, I don't get it. Like, you have a good job, a car. Like, I don't. I'm like, shh, it's fine. Don't alert them that I'm still here. It's okay. Yeah, but you can't go back. So wait it out as long as you fucking can.
I guess not. No, not for good. No,
until you decide or they decide. Like, don't leave. Because some people are like, the day I turn fucking 18, I'm out of here. You don't have a plan. You don't have it figured out. Hang out a little longer.
Till you're 26, apparently.
Hang
on for another 8 years. It'll be fine.
I might have stayed too long. But I will say that my parents loved me enough to let me stay that long, which has afforded me certain opportunities later in life.
Yes.
So I am thankful that they let me stay that long. But I will say that was definitely, there was a line that I was getting real close to.
Yeah.
Like, my dad finally had a little talk with me where he's like, I don't know, like, maybe think about what's next. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. Is it awkward for you too, or just me? Because it's feeling a little awkward for me right now. No, it was just you. Like, I didn't know we were going to be hurtful today.
Maybe it's time to get your shit together, son.
Yeah. I think I was 25.
Just a thought.
Maybe I didn't 24. I may not even hit 20. I was definitely time for me to go. Like, I could have graduated college in this time frame. Like,
you were like, it was that point?
Yeah.
It was getting to be do or die.
Mm-hmm. So. Shit
or get off the pot kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. We're trying to stay focused this time. Stop distracting us, listeners.
It's all your fault.
Let's jump into what is this most serious and biggest story of the week. There's some drama.
This guy.
Around Billy Mitchell and his scores for Donkey Kong. And so, people are going to take this story two ways. Some people are like, who the fuck cares?
Uh-huh.
And then there are people like me who I'm all in on this story.
Well, there's a lot. You're going to get to it in a second, but there's a lot going on. I mean, this shit can't be made. You can't make this shit up. There
is some high school level drama happening here.
Yeah. It's like, I don't like you. Yeah. Go ahead. Go with it.
So I'm gonna read some stuff. There's some quotes in here. There's some chatter and opinion. This article is by Kevin Wong over at GameStop, and I really like this story. I read a bunch of different stories at GameSpot. I think I said GameStop, but
I think you did too.
It was a mini stroke. It is GameSpot.
That's okay. That's okay. GameSpot.
Kevin Wong. But I really like some of the things he says in here. I'm not gonna read it all because it's so fucking long.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm just gonna let me give you in a nutshell. Everyone knows who Billy Mitchell is. Mm-hmm. King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters, super famous documentary with him and Steve Wheatley battling it out over the Donkey Kong scores. He is a larger-than-life, almost a character.
Yeah, he's incredibly charismatic. He is
in like the most like egregious kind of way.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's incredibly hot sauce because why wouldn't he?
You can't help but be drawn to him, even if the whole reason you're drawn to him is because he's an asshole.
Right. I would say he is the kind of person that people would like to surround, like want to be around that guy. You want to be in his presence. And he's so ridiculous.
His hairstyle,
again, in the best kind of way.
ties.
Like, I don't want anyone to think I'm ripping on Billy Mitchell, because I think Billy Mitchell's a dick, but there's something about that guy.
Yeah, there's that charisma.
So anyways, I would say as far as high score gaming goes, he is this close thing to like a spokesperson or a mascot for that,
Or a sponsor,
yeah,
role model, whatever. Just
right. He is
somebody
he is the
who
pinnacle.
a representative of.
And because of that movie, the Donkey Kong high score is probably the pinnacle of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are a lot of high scores, but people want Donkey Kong, and that movie was a big reason why. Anyways, so that's a little background on Billy. What has happened now that people are coming out saying that his high scores, especially 3 of his high scores, are not valid because there are several people, but Jeremy Young, a moderator over at the Donkey Kong forums, is saying that those scores were done on a MAME cabinet,
Which is an emulator, an arcade emulator cabinet, not the actual Donkey Kong.
right? Multiple
cabinet.
arcade machine emulator. There is a separate scores, like separate top scores for people that are playing on MAME.
Mm-hmm.
MAME can be manipulated. They can do edits, all kinds of different things. And the footage for his high scores that were submitted are direct from the arcade, so there is no pulled back shots in what was submitted. You remember there was some issues with the footage he had sent in on King of Kong, but they let it ride because it's Billy Mitchell.
Because that's the kind of...
Billy Mitchell don't tell no lies.
No, that's what you're afforded when you're...
He's got long silky hair and his shirt, his tie is always America.
He's definitely has some of that Hall & Oates hair going on.
Yeah. And he's got the USA. He uses USA when he puts his scores in. He wears the American like flag tie.
Ties. Yep, he's
ridiculous. I guarantee he's still wearing black jeans.
Sport coat with the skinny tie.
Yeah, he is America. Anyway, so they are basically saying that 3 of his scores are not valid. 1,047,200, 1,050,200, and 1,062,800, which was achieved at Boomer's Arcade, close to Mitchell's home.
And here's where all the drama comes in.
Yeah, he's being called out on his reputation because these scores don't actually matter anymore, because it turns out after that movie came out, there's a lot of people better than those 2 fucks.
Yeah.
Who have demolished their scores.
These scores don't... basically, these scores are irrelevant, but what has happened is, you have to remember, with the King of Kong, with Billy Mitchell being so charismatic, he's kind of been an unnamed spokesperson for, high score champions across the globe, is basically that whole movement is now being called into question whether it was built on Billy Mitchell's lie or not. So essentially, this is a direct attack on Billy Mitchell's reputation as that spokesperson, as someone who's done this. So it's huge. It's blowing up everywhere. It's huge soap opera drama. These guys say this, these guys say that, and it turns out that someone else has to be looking at this stuff to make a determination, because Billy Mitchell has repeatedly told everybody that he has pretty much zero technical ability.
He says he's the least tech savvy person he knows, and based off my limited interaction with Billy Mitchell, which is watching him on things, I would agree. I
would too. And there's I gotta see if I can find this great quote that.
So before you get there, I wanna go over a couple things.
Sure.
So some of the quotes we're going to pull from are from an interview that Billy Mitchell did with GameSpot, but he was speaking to someone named Richie Knuckles, the man who organizes the Donkey Kong community's annual Kong Off. Knuckles orchestrated the interview, allowed GameSpot to listen in and publish said interview.
Yep.
But they did not ask questions. They tried multiple times to reach Billy without Knuckles, and he did not answer the phone. So again, this is an interview conducted by his friend and person in the community who only has basically a job because of the popularity that Fistful of Kong brought to him.
Right.
So did you find the quote?
I did.
Okay.
This. I think we talk about how Billy Mitchell's a dick. All right, but Billy Mitchell is not stupid. He is not a dumb person, and he is incredibly aware of his standing in the video game community. Mm-hmm. And I think he has a incredible amount of reverence and respect for that community, because here's what he says when basically they explained to him, tech company explained to him what had happened, blah, 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 and Billy Mitchell said, if I sit here and try and explain it to you, I'm going to sound like an idiot and people are going to pick it apart because I don't know what I'm talking about. These answers require presentation and research. It takes 2 minutes to tell a lie. It takes a lot longer to give a proper response that's acceptable.
And if you know Billy Mitchell, and if he had a cape, he would have turned around and thrown the cape over himself after he said that.
And given a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. But I love that quote from Billy Mitchell.
So this story is so much more weird than we can even convey to you in the little time. And that's why I do suggest everyone go read that article. It's really good. You know, he talks about King of Kong was the conflict between two men competing for the highest Donkey Kong score. But really, it was good versus evil.
Yeah, Billy was set up as
David versus Goliath.
Yeah, Billy was set up as the villain.
Yeah,
and Weeby was set up as
some dude in his garage.
You know,
he was
the underdog guy who is taking on the supreme ruler of the universe. And if you've seen the movie, it's shot in such a way that it is very much presented that way. And I feel like Billy Mitchell might get a bad rap from that. I don't think he's that much of a dick in real life. I think he does have a reverence and respect for that entire community. Because I think he recognizes that they made him.
Right.
So say what you want about him, but I don't have all the... Nothing has been answered from all these allegations yet.
And so I'm going to try to breeze through. This is where it gets really fucking weird. So the tape was submitted directly to Twin Galaxies. Mm-hmm. That is the governing body that is obviously is featured in King of Kong, Walter Day, and all that stuff. So Billy Mitchell now says he has two primary objectives. The first is getting the original tapes and scores direct feed, which Twin Galaxies should have. Mm-hmm. One of them is the 1,060,000 run, which is recorded by former Twin Galaxies Michael Schroka. Mitchell believes there's another tape, one that actually shows the entire room, which will prove that there's no shady business going on. No one thus far has been able to locate this tape. However, several people allege that they have it. But this is where it gets super fucking strange. This is where the high school drama is about to come in. Because right now, it's sort of just finger pointing. Somebody's saying, hey, and I don't know if we clarified this. So the original cabinet, it loads side to side, and on a main cabinet, large chunks pop in at once. That's how they're determining that he's playing on a main board or a main cabinet. So, but here's where it gets really weird: is the 1,040,000 and the 1,050,000 tapes were uploaded to YouTube by a man named Dwayne Richard. Anyone who's seen King of Kong will remember Dwayne Richard. Mm-hmm. But he's also involved in two post-documentaries after King of Kong called The King of Con, which came out in 2012, and The Perfect Fraud Man, which also came out in 2012.
Which are specifically, it should be noted, you can't tell this from the title, but they are specifically designed to be anti-Billy Mitchell.
The King of Con and The Perfect Fraud Man. The Perfect Fraud Man, of course, questioning Billy Mitchell having the first perfect Pac-Man game.
Yeah.
So you're already starting to get a little taste of the drama.
Yeah.
Knuckles, the guy who did the interview with Billy, characterizes Richard as someone with an axe to grind against Billy Mitchell. But of course he does and would. But it's going to get even more weird because Knuckles says a year ago, Richard, the guy with an axe to grind against Billy, wanted Knuckles' help in faking MAME footage.
Yeah.
He wanted to know how to fake MAME footage.
Yep.
Which Knuckles told him he couldn't help him with. He also repeated this anecdote on Facebook, which has been edited for grammar on this article we're reading. But what he says is, I remember it well. I was in a parking lot of a Walmart when Richard called me and asked me to participate in a MAME Donkey Kong ruse. In his exact words, to put egg on Twin Galaxy's face. I told him I was not interested. So the problem we have here, we have someone saying this guy wanted to know how to doctor footage. The footage that people are using to say Billy Mitchell cheated is footage uploaded by this guy.
Yep.
Who has made 2 documentaries about how much he does not like and or trust Billy Mitchell. Now, I will say there are many people who have questioned Billy Mitchell along the years, but that's what happens when you're up top.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen when people want to knock you down.
When you're the guy, people question you.
Yep.
So this is all super, super interesting. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack here.
There's another documentary in the making.
Yeah.
Right here.
It's the first thing I thought is like, what a good fucking time for King of Kong 2.
Right, I know, right?
Yeah. Billy's story. Because now it's not, like we said in the beginning, it's not about the scores anymore. The scores are irrelevant.
Oh, you know what they ought to call it? They ought to call it King of Kong 2. Billy, don't be a hero.
They could call it that, or they could call it, here's where I'm at. Kong's Revenge, A Fistful of Quarters 2.
Kong's Revenge?
Yeah. Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I know Kong. I get Kong.
Fistful, yeah. King of Kong.
It's got to reference Billy somehow.
No, I mean, because it'll be more than just Billy, though.
Oh, that's true. But he's the hero of the story.
I think his score is like only
Maybe
good enough for like 5th or 8th or something like that. Now, it's not even.
Yeah, it's not even up top anymore. But he was the first one to get that highest score, and it held for a long time.
And he's Billy Mitchell.
And he's Billy Mitchell.
Right. If you haven't seen this guy, you got to get a picture of him, and you'll understand immediately.
Just Google Billy Mitchell, go to images, and you'll see the amazing hair that he has, and that perfectly trimmed beard.
So we may have an answer sooner rather than later. So a former Twin Galaxies referee, who Knuckles would not name, called him and said, hey, I have one of these original Billy Mitchell tapes.
And supposedly it's in the mail as we speak.
It's in the mail. He would not list the referee's name, but he did say the referee was on the list of people who were credited for reviewing said footage and confirming it was real. So here's what I want to leave everybody with, and this story talks about it. I'm not going to look for it, so I'm just going to paraphrase here a little bit. You know, it draws the question, and who's really the villain here?
Yeah, it does. I mean, this is from what we know of the story right now, there are no good guys and bad guys yet.
And it's one of those things where, would a guy who has spent his life dedicated to this, basically, would he cheat to stay up top?
Yeah.
Someone that driven?
Well, at this point, we don't know that he's driven to have that score or if he's driven to maintain his status.
Right. Because he was a rock star in the high score world.
Yeah, yeah. And he may want to maintain that status, then yes, I can see cheating coming into place. My problem, the issue that I have, is cheating to come in 8th or 5th. If you're gonna,
it wasn't though. Those scores had him up top then.
Oh, got it.
I guess it was cheating to be up top, but now it's not.
And I still have a problem with that because Billy Mitchell is always going to be Billy Mitchell. I mean, look at it now. His scores are good enough to get him 4th, 5th 6, whatever, and he's still Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's still the guy that did. If this was a problem with the original record, it'd be one thing. But I'm not sure that this matters now. I mean, obviously cheating is cheating, and cheating is always wrong. But it's going to be super interesting to see what happens with this.
Yeah, because without Billy Mitchell, like in these scores, there would be no King of Kong.
Right.
The community who is accusing him of cheating would not exist.
Right.
Without him. So it's a weird spot to be in.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of ironic. And
I mean, I'll tell you what else is ironic is this, after we talked about how much you don't care about conspiracy theories last weekend, now we're finding ourselves, our main story is essentially a conspiracy theory.
Sorta. I will give you, it sorta is.
Well, because this, not Knuckles, what's the other guy? Richard whatever? Speck?
Yeah, Richard. Richard? Is that his name? Let's find his full name. I want to give him credit here. In case he's a piece of shit that Dr. Tapes, or in case he's right. Dwayne Richards.
Yeah, Dwayne Richards. This guy's not looking good. It's looking like he wanted to try to fix shit in order to get back at Billy Mitchell or make his documentary sell whatever. Was told no, then maybe found someone else. There's so much going on here. It's all intertwined.
And you know, I've read lots of articles where people are saying, "Oh, well, they're going after him." We just said it. They're going after him because he's up top. But this article talks about, you step back and you realize that Billy Mitchell was dedicated enough to either get the high score legitimate or illegitimately. Mm-hmm. It would also stand to reason that someone else cared enough to get the truth out.
Yeah.
Because if you care the way that Billy Mitchell clearly does, then you could also care enough to say, like, he shouldn't be our spokesperson because he's a dirty cheater. And you're right, it is sort of a conspiracy theory, but I think we'll get an answer. I think you'll get definitive proof.
Yeah.
I will say that, when Billy's talking about, I'm not going to answer how everything works. I could lie in 2 minutes or whatever. That quote was better because he probably wrote it and practiced it. But he's talking about the capture card could be the reason it's loading funny.
Right.
Which to me is a little concerning because it's almost like he's saying, when they get the real footage, it's going to be wrong too. So let me try to get in front of this with another potential issue that could cause this.
And the thing is there's probably some truth to that. There's probably any number of things that could cause that to happen.
So the crazy thing is, at the end of the day, I don't want his scores to be fake.
No, I don't either. I
love that movie. I love that documentary. I watched it not long ago. It holds up. It's fucking still good.
It's good. It came out in 2010?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I will say his status has afforded him some luxuries that other people in the competitive scene have not had.
That's true.
There was probably room to cheat.
Maybe.
Hopefully not.
Whether he did or not, we don't know.
Yeah. But I will 100% say this is where we're going to keep you updated on. I'm all in. It's one conspiracy theory I'll allow. Only because I don't want it. So I think we'll get an answer here, unlike a lot of those things.
Yeah, this one, I think there's proof on the way.
I would almost call it the ongoing story more than a conspiracy right now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see. A lot of score sites have already yanked him off the leaderboard already.
Yeah, with no definitive proof, just based on accusations.
Twin Galaxies has noted his scores as what's the word they use?
In contention or something like that?
No, they call them basically someone's filed a grievance against them, but I forget the word they use. They're under review, basically.
Yeah.
So,
that's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without any proof, he should still be up there.
And I guess to be fair, we'll give a shout out to Robbie Lakeman, who is actually the high score holder of Donkey Kong right now, which is why none of this really fucking matters. He beat Wes Copeland's score February 2nd of this year. So if you wonder if that scene's still going, there you go. Somebody's broke the world record in February.
It's still going on.
Like, a week ago February is what we're talking
like
about.
a week ago.
Right.
Maybe less. What's today, the 12th?
Yeah.
Like the 11th.
10 days ago.
Yeah, 10 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Big Bill Mitchell. All right, moving on. Pretty soon you're going to be able to buy Switch games with your Nintendo points. My Nintendo Club members, I don't call it Nintendo Club anymore. It's my Nintendo members will soon be able to use some of their points for Switch games. It's only the gold points we're talking about here, and beginning in early March, you'll be able to buy select games and DLC from the eShop once the system is in place. You're also going to earn the gold points a little differently. Like right now, if you buy a physical copy, you can like click on and do stuff to unlock the points. If you buy them digitally, it automatically unlocks you the points. But here's how it's going to work going forward. You'll earn 5 gold points for every $1 you spend. Every gold point is worth a penny. So if you're still confused, $60 is going to earn you 300 points, which is $3 off of a game. The cool thing is they're not making you save up to buy your thing. You can use them at any point. You just pay the difference.
Essentially, at that point, you've got a coupon for that much off rather than being able to buy the whole thing.
Correct. I think it's okay. I think it's an alright idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like necessarily that exchange rate, but then I also think about the number of people playing. I get it. You know, they can't give everybody free games all the time.
Right.
So that's your solution, I guess. You know, it's a smaller exchange rate, but they're doing it for everybody. And
well, it's good to see them doing something.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a reward for loyalty. It'd be nice to see others do this.
It's true. We got a couple rumors, a little rumor report here in a row. Metroid Prime 4, it appears, is being developed by Bandai Namco, according to lots of loose lips out there.
Yep, that's the word on the street. And their Singapore jobs page shows at least 5 open positions, but none of those listings will say what game it's for.
And it should be noted that Namco's Studio Singapore was founded in collaboration with Nintendo.
Yes.
So, you know, when there's smoke, there's probably fire. Namco said they were working on a AAA unnamed third or first person shooter.
Yep.
You know, Nintendo is working on Metroid Prime 4 because they teased it at E3 and they showed absolutely nothing, and also did not talk about the studio that would be working on it. So people are putting things together. People are talking. People are saying that's what's happening there. So who knows? But everything points to that Bandai Namco is making it. They're also working on the Dark Souls Remastered, which is due out in May.
Uh-huh.
So we know that they understand the Switch, or at least they are working to understand the Switch. So
yes,
I think you're going to see it. Here's the next and most probably unsurprising news on all of this. Call of Duty 4's next game will be Black Ops 4.
No way.
Because people like people like Black Ops because it's Treyarch's turn. So this is the obvious speculation. You see what I did there with Treyarch and Black Ops?
I saw you.
I did Black Ark instead.
Good stuff. You said Black Ark.
Yeah.
Yep. With developed by Treyops.
Yeah. Which is a better name, I should add. It's
you like Treyops better?
Yeah, if your last name's Ops, Trey's a good first name too. If you could be Treyops.
Treyops.
So every time Treyarch's turn to develop a game or to come up with a new Call of Duty, they're on a 3-year cycle. Every time that happens, everyone's like, oh, it's a new Black Ops. Their last one was Advanced Infinite Warfare, whichever was Advanced Warfare, I think. People didn't care for that. I don't play Call of Duty.
Advanced Infinite Warfare isn't even a game.
Well, no, it's 2 games that I merged together, so I wouldn't be wrong. Because it's one of the 2. It's Infinite Warfare. So it appears, again, based off of some loose lips, that they are sliding back into Black Ops. They're getting away from the futuristic stuff. Their last game that came out, their last Call of Duty was 2015, so it would be their turn. Because remember, we're on a 3-year cycle with Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward.
Yes, we are.
Because can't get enough of that Call of Duty.
Every November.
Apparently Call of Duty WW2 is great.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I'm still probably not gonna play it.
That's your rumor roundup. Those last two. That first story is real. I should have structured them differently. I should have done rumor, finished with a Nintendo rumor, and then rolled into the Nintendo point story.
Hey, it's fine.
You live and you learn.
Yeah. So we're still learning here. We've been over 265 episodes, and we're still getting shit together.
Friday the 13th is getting some single-player challenges.
Yeah.
The team behind Friday the 13th has been promising single-player mode for some time now. And it looks like we've finally gotten a peek. There's a video that shows some brutal look at the challenges. They showed it on Twitter. It showcases Jason killing. Yeah. Bugsby and Adam. Two teens. Trying to fix their broken car. They don't really reveal much on how it's going to work. Or what you're really going to be doing.
But they show the kills.
Yeah. This isn't the first we've seen of Friday the 13th offline. Back in December, the team released an update that added offline bots, among other things. And it wasn't a fully fleshed out single-player mode, but the single-player challenges might eventually fill that void. It's cool to see them still support this. And there's one more thing I want to add here, and we've talked about this in the past and some of the issues we've had. Finally, after launching in 2017, March, I think it was. April of this year, they plan to have dedicated servers out for PS4.
Awesome.
And Xbox One. Can't wait for that, because that's going to make that game better.
Great.
And that's one that I want to get back to.
Yeah, me too. I still have it.
I want to figure out how to play it. Yeah.
You want to figure out how to play it?
Yeah, I never could figure out how to kill anybody as Jason. I got like one water kill. I could figure out how to die, though.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Right.
I was good at that part. Fortnite hit 3.4 million concurrent users the same weekend that it had outages, the same weekend as the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they were up against it and still hit 3.4 million.
I think it's important to note that Fortnite is available on all consoles and PC too. Except for Switch. It's not on the Switch, but it's on pretty much everything that you can play on. So keep that in mind when you start talking bullshit, because I think PUBG's maxed out at 3 million. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a comparison a lot of people like to make, but PUBG is only available on PC and Xbox One.
Right.
And I think when PUBG, when they update their concurrent, it's actually only PC. I don't think they update their Xbox One.
Right.
But I will say, regardless on how many it's available on,
don't get me wrong,
Fortnite has solidified itself as a battle royale shooter. It's not like we talked about it a lot, that it's obviously was based off of PUBG. They mentioned PUBG in the fucking teaser, but they have done their own thing, and they have accomplished something that I think is tough, and a lot of people aren't going to like this comment. I think they have improved upon something
battle
that
royale
was
genre.
Yeah. They have improved. I think they've improved upon PUBG. I think they offer something totally different, but Fortnite is fucking smooth.
Yep. I know people that love Fortnite and have tried PUBG and hate it.
Yeah, and I think if you come from PUBG and you try Fortnite, you don't necessarily love that either. It's doing something different. Even though you could say that Fortnite was definitely inspired by PUBG, but there are a lot of comparison out there that Fortnite's doing more concurrent, but it is important to remember that it's not apples to apples when it comes to that.
Right.
But still, 3.4 is a huge number because they had server issues, and they were actually super honest about it. Epic said the extreme server load led to 6 different incidents on Saturday and Sunday, and in some of those instances, it was total service disruptions, meaning no one could play.
Right.
It was also Super Bowl fucking weekend when everyone was watching TV. So it's crazy that they set a record with all that going on. And Fortnite is, Battle Royale is going to continue to grow for them. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happens to Fortnite
PUBG?
Proper. PUBG is
either.
fine too. PUBG's not hurt.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happens to Fortnite Proper because they're going to put most of their energy on Battle Royale.
Because that's what most people are playing, yes.
Maybe more drama between them.
Well, who knows? They kind of have to keep going with the Fortnite proper, though, because in a very real way, it is linked to the Battle Royale as far as cosmetics and stuff. So I don't think you can be lackadaisical on that part.
And they haven't been so far, but, and part of shutting down Paragon. They need more hands on Fortnite.
Right.
So, this last story, kind of a sad one. Dead Rising Studio, Capcom Vancouver has laid off 30% of its studio as part of its assessment of the studio. They felt like they needed to restructure it. They also canceled Unnamed Project, and sources are saying that they have scaled back the next Dead Rising, which they did say is still going to continue to be made. So they canceled an Unnamed Project, and they are apparently working on Dead Rising, but according to sources, not according to Capcom, that they have scaled that back.
Yes.
So I hate to see anybody lose their job. They're talented folks. I'm sure they'll land somewhere. Dead Rising, not doing it. People didn't like Dead Rising 4. When I say people, I know that someone liked it. But I'm saying the masses did not like Dead Rising 4.
Right. It's I think part of that is the zombie aspect of things. I really do think zombies have been hit our pop culture so hard so recently that I think they're kind of on their downswing.
Mm-hmm.
Before that it was vampires.
Yeah.
You had Twilight. You had everything was
Twilight
vampires.
Almost ruined vampires.
Right. And I think now you're maybe seeing that. You got The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, iZombie,
World War Z,
Z Nation, World War Z. I think we're seeing that. These trends come and go, and I think we're seeing the go aspect of things. Zombies just aren't as exciting as they used to be.
I was listening to something or reading something, and they were talking about the Battle Royale. Everyone's making a Battle Royale. There's rumors out there that Red Dead has a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
And if you think that's a terrible idea, then I'll just tell you again to think about 100 people on horseback all shooting each other, because it sounds great to me. But they were talking about, and I wish I could remember where it was that I heard it so I could give them credit, but the idea of a Battle Royale game where there's 100 people, but there's also like
obstacles or
NPCs,
hazards.
like bad. And so they use zombies specifically as you parachute down into a zombie-infested land. The goal is still to kill each other, but you have to do so while also avoiding the fucking zombies that roam the map. And I think that sounds like a pretty rad idea.
It does.
There are still things you can do with zombies and with these... Because Battle Royale is going to be... It's the same thing. It's going to be done into the ground, and people are going to get tired of it.
Yeah.
But I think there's still some fun things, and I think we probably
you
haven't
can do
seen
with it
the
before it
best
gets there.
of it yet. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what comes on it, because I think Battle Royale is a lot of fun. And when PUBG finally makes its way to PS4 and is less janky, I'm going to get it too. So, it's all, it's all good. More games is always better.
More games is always better.
It's all fun and games. Gamestitch.
So someone puts an eye out.
That's it for the news. We breezed through it because we talked about Bill Mitchell for a long time.
And other stupid stuff for a long time before that.
I think the other stuff was all good talk.
Well, stupid is just... When I say stupid, I mean non-video game related for the most part.
I'll tell you what's not stupid.
What's that?
Our next segment. Bam! Nailed it. It's time for Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past. We dust off something we love from the past. We tell you about it in hopes that you can either play it or go find videos on YouTube and go, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
This week it's your turn.
No. I don't think I've done this one before.
Oh, man.
But it's possible I have. But I really don't think I did. I do know that way back when we first started Gone But Not Forgotten, I talked about Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. And I talked about how it was the best of the Splinter Cell games. Well, this week I want to talk about another Splinter Cell game. And that Splinter Cell game is Splinter Cell Conviction, which is not the best Splinter Cell game, but it is my favorite Splinter Cell game. Now, we've talked about it in the past. We're familiar with Splinter Cell theory, or how the Splinter Cell games work. You have, very, very heavy on stealth, very, very heavy on tech and gadgets and using them to not be noticed and infiltrate, so on and so forth. Conviction is a little bit more personal. Essentially, he, at the end of the game before this, which was Double Agent, he learned that his daughter didn't die in an accident. She was killed. So this is Sam Fisher basically tearing up the world, trying to find out who killed his daughter. It does take some of the... It's not quite as stealthy. They changed up a lot in this. It's because it's more of a... I guess I would say I don't want to say Taken, but more along the lines of something like that. It's not so much an espionage story as it is that personal, seeking the truth, revenge story. So it takes out a lot of the stealth mechanisms that the Splinter Cells were known for, and add in a few different things. It had the mark and execute, where you can mark all of your opponents, and then you hit a button and you kill them all. You could interrogate. The biggest way that stealth works is really with what's called last known position, which is where there's an outline of where you were seen last, and you're able to sneak away from that. But like I said, this is not the best Splinter Cell game, but this was my favorite Splinter Cell game. It's much more run and gun. I much more enjoy the personal aspect other than the save the world. It's got the... I don't want to say company, the group that Sam Fisher used to be a part of. There's a huge... Turns out that there's all of this stuff going on inside there that's just a mess. It's something he falls on too. It's more of... And this is around that time, so... More so than this... It really goes more of a Jason Bourne route. Run and gun, get to the truth, find things out. My favorite of all the Splinter Cell games. So much so that I have recently re-downloaded it on my Xbox One, and I am seriously considering streaming it. You look like you want to say something.
I really think you've done this before, but I did check the list as far as it goes back, and I don't see it on there.
No, I did Chaos Theory.
So I can't remember if you just talk about it too much, and now I think that's what's happening here, that you've done this before.
I've talked about Conviction a lot. I love that game. I love Conviction. So it's my favorite Splinter Cell game.
Let us know. Podcast at Gamestitch.com or on Twitter.
I don't think I've talked about it before. I know I talked about Chaos Theory.
You didn't think you talked about Winback before either.
That's true. And that was a week away, so
right.
That was a week different. So you could be right. I mean, could be, but I don't think I have. But yeah, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory I have talked about, and that is the best Splinter Cell game. I talked about Conviction today, and that is my favorite Splinter Cell game. So best and favorite can be two different things.
Don't get them twisted.
That's Splinter Cell Conviction, this week's Gone But Not Forgotten.
If you have one for us, remember, podcast@Gamestitch.com or at @Game_Stitch on Twitter. Use the hashtag GBNF or put GBNF in your subject line, and we'll read it here on the show. Now it's time for shout-outs. If you want to shout out, all you have to do is head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and support us at the $10 tier, and we'll say whatever you want us to say within reason. And our reason is, pretty much anything.
Yeah.
If you don't give us a shout-out, though, we'll provide one to you because you know what? You earned the fucking spot. It's yours.
Boom.
So you get a shout-out either way.
Yep.
Now, I think we have two shout-outs this week, and I don't think either were provided.
No.
Or either.
You go with Thomas. Go ahead, go with Thomas.
So Thomas has made some lifestyle changes, and I just want to say on behalf of Dan and myself, good luck. And you're going to be great, and we're excited to see what comes next.
That's right.
It was a real shout-out. Like a real heartfelt.
That's right. We are pulling for you.
Yeah.
We know you're gonna. We know you're gonna. Good things are coming, bro.
Yeah.
And this week I have Garrett. And Garrett's shout out this week is Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. And the reason that's Garrett's shout out is because that's what I told him when he showed me the trophy that he won in the football contest with his wife.
Yeah, he sent that trophy over. It's badass. Like, he sent me a picture of it. It's awesome.
It's a good trophy.
Yeah.
I have the picture as well.
Yeah, it's an awesome trophy.
And it is a good trophy. He also said, this is kind of an add-on, and he didn't really say this. I'm saying it for him. Fuck you, New England Patriots.
I didn't know where you were going with that. You had a long pause. I thought you might just be stopping right there.
I needed listening.
Yeah.
I needed that. I needed everyone to listen and be on their seats and wonder what was coming next. But Garrett knows. Garrett's an AFC East guy. So he understands exactly what that shout-out is.
Right.
He may not have given it to me, but in his heart, he stands by it.
Right. He meant it, even though he didn't say it. So, patreon.com/GameStitch if you want to shout out. There's always time to act. As long as you do it before next week's show, we'll give you a shout-out. Oh, man. It's been 265.
In the books.
If you want to find me on social media, I am at Podcast Ryan, and I don't really participate. Dan is at Shirtless Dan, and he's better than I am.
And I've gotten better at it.
Together, we are at Game_Stitch, which again is Dan. And you should talk to us on there. Give him a reason to do better.
Yeah. Maybe you should send out a little tweet letting us know that maybe we have too many coals in the fire.
Mm-hmm. Wink, wink.
You know who that's for.
Wink, wink.
They know who that's for.
Also, friend of the show, Brian Settle, sent us a tweet of him listening on a plane.
On a plane to Disney.
It turns out I like thinking about where people listen at. So if you could send us those pictures, I think that's fun.
Yeah. Send us pictures of where you are when you're listening.
Yeah. The shitter, an airplane, a car, outside
we don't
the
care.
park. I will say, and I think we've said this often, if you're in a public place, you should probably use headphones.
Yes.
Especially this episode. I've used an F-bomb a lot.
I used it more than once.
Feeling some sort of way today.
And I mean, it was Garrett's shout-out was an F-bomb, right. So.
Some shows are almost clean. Not this one. This has been a...
None of our shows are almost
extra
clean.
Dirty version of the show. Because I didn't get to play much. This is what happens. You get angry, Ryan.
I think it depends on your definition of dirty. Because we have definitely had episodes that were way dirtier than this one. They may not have been as vulgar, but they were way dirtier.
You mean like the one where we put a fleshlight on the Xbox?
That's one.
That's a favorite.
Yeah,
that's a favorite of the.
That's one
of
yeah.
mine. And I think still a viable option on how you beat your competition.
Yeah.
When making a home console.
There was a U for uterus comment at one point.
That's the way people clarify the letter U, so that's not dirty. I think that's.
There's other ways to clarify it than uterus.
Unicorn.
Uniform.
Yeah, that's less fun.
Not to be confused with chloroform.
I like unicorn or uterus because those are two U words. You're like, oh yeah. But if you hit somebody with a U for uterus, they're like, all right, I got that loud and clear.
Yeah, they know what letter you're talking about.
Right.
It can be confusing though because uterus actually has two U's in it. So which U are you talking about?
Well, it's just U. Just the.
Okay.
P is in penis. Like, you can say that. That's fine. You're not being dirty if you're using it like that. You just want to make sure people got the right letter. Because sometimes you'll be like S, or like F, and you're like, no, S. Or like S. And you're like, yeah, S. Or like F. I'm like, what are you doing right now? I'm
like
just...
M and N?
Yeah.
B, C, V, D.
I was reading someone letters, and I said S. And they're like, F? I'm like, S. They're like, F. S.
Like, S, as in suck it!
And they're like, F. So I've got FFF. I'm like, no. It's one single S. F. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? So I had him with an S as in Sally, and it's just one of them. But I should have said S as in sex. Because he would have heard fex. Because I was never saying an F.
I tell you, the phonetic alphabet doesn't work anymore, which is, the alphabet that the military uses. Right. Because if I remember correctly, I'll have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure that Sierra was the phonetic S. Mm-hmm. Sierra. I'll have to look that up real quick. But I tried saying that the other day.
And people think C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sierra most commonly spelled with a C now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I use Sally because you really only spell Sally with an S.
One way. Well, I try to use the phonetic alphabet because I like to show
Because
off.
you're a hard ass and you can't have fun
Right.
with
All right.
it. P is in peacock.
P as in Papa.
Papa don't give a fuck.
He does if he wants his pee.
That's right. Yeah, I like to have fun when I'm giving letters to people.
Yeah, there's time for you as for uterus. This podcast is probably fine. On the phone with the government for get your IRS money, something like that.
That's
Probably
definitely
not.
a time to use it. You don't want them to get hung up.
Maybe not at work.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're not on the phone with HR. That's probably not a good time.
Right.
Would that qualify as not right?
Yeah, I would
You
use
think?
unicycle if I was talking about work.
Okay.
I'm still having fun, but also it's less edgy. So
Yeah, you don't want edgy when you're talking with HR.
right. You're not like B as in blowjob or anything like that.
Right.
'Cause-
Right.
'cause
D as in dick.
Right. D as in D's nuts.
E as in enema.
Wow, I use that all the time. That might be the episode. That might be the show title. He is an enema. How you not want to see what's happening on the other side of that? This has been episode 265. I hope.
It's right. It's 265. Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little while for the
I know.
email to pull up. 265. Thanks for joining us.
We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you. And remember, the safest bet you'll ever make is betting on you.
That's. Yeah.
Good night.